I'm Luiza Paulielo. I am starring the film Inhabitant, which I co-directed with my partner Eleanor Smith. In this movie, I play Lisa, who is a young adult who is in a relationship with the other main character, Ellie, who's just moved into a house. And I also portray the character of Inhabitant, which is a supernatural being who um, lives in the attic of the household and who is unknown and has no name. It's basically a typical ghost story of a family or a couple moving into a house and realizing that there's more to that house and that there has been a supernatural being that lived there and is living there before they came in. And throughout the movie, they start to people who every time people move into this house, they start finding out stories of people that lived there before and who have encountered this supernatural being, the inhabitant that lives in the attic. And I think we chose to do when me and my partner Eleanor were choosing how we were going to set this film. We chose to do it in a typical house setting because it just makes it more personal to our audiences, as you know, it's things can happen anywhere, not just in a place, not just in a scary place that you might go to like the woods or something, but in a place where you usually find comfort, which is your home. But actually having something like a supernatural being that's out to get you in your own house, it's quite hard to get away from. So we thought that would be a good idea in making it more scary. Movies. I would say the movies that really influenced me and Eleanor into making this film. Sorry, I always say her name wrong. Was like Paranormal Activity, which was a big one because it's most of the footage is actually done by hand into like a, so it suggests it's more of a home footage and it makes it more, more personal to our audience. And it's also set in a household, which we wanted to do as well in our film. And it follows also was very influential in the sense of the music and the type of soundtrack they used, which is the sort of soundtrack we were wanting to use for our movie. What I have gained from this experience for sure is the understanding of like how scary it really can be in making the film. Like I when I got dressed up and I was in what I was playing, of course, the supernatural being in Inhabitant. When I was put in the attic, I felt scared myself, even though I knew we were just making a movie. So it really puts you in the perspective of the audience when they're watching the movie and they see all these sort of things happening in someone's attic, which could be their attic. What I think defines a great. I think what defines a great horror movie is making it as more personal to the audience as you possibly can. So if the audience can really relate to being in that scene and being in that situation, then if makes it more personal, they feel more scared from watching the film. Where if it's very unrealistic and they watch it and they just it breaks the illusion, which is why in our film we try to make it as realistic as possible. Yeah, sound is definitely important. It's one of the most important aspects into creating a horror film because um, sound and music is basically what helps create the mood of the scenes and the atmosphere. If something scary was going on in the scene and you had like really happy music in the background, it wouldn't it wouldn't it wouldn't get along with the scene, and it would be distorted really. And so when the audience would watch it, they wouldn't know whether to laugh or to get scared. What would I change? I mean, I think me and my partner Eleanor were quite pleased with what we've done in the movie. But if I could change anything, I would pay more attention to details. I think in the scenes, making sure really using the advantages we had, because there was maybe a few spots where we could have done something in that scene, we could have done something more in that scene, and we didn't, just basically because of due to short amount of time. So I would probably take more time to include more details of especially in filming the supernatural being.